So over the years, PrettyBoyFredo became one of the biggest YouTubers to ever come out of the NBA 2K community. And he's managed to gain millions of fans over the years by doing various forms of content such as gaming, viral pranks, and of course viral challenges. But over time, all of this love that Fredo was receiving slowly started to disappear as he became one of the most hated YouTubers within the community. But what exactly caused all of this love Fredo was receiving to turn into nothing but hate? That's probably what you're here to figure out. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the Tribe House with the biggest trapper. And while you're at it, don't forget to press that very first link down below in my description to join my Discord server and become an official member of the community. And with all of that being said, let's get into how PrettyBoyFredo ruined his own career. Okay, so PrettyBoyFredo would start off his YouTube career almost 10 years ago playing a game called NBA 2K15. And this would end up really sparking his career because at the time not many people were playing 2K on YouTube other than creators like Chris Smooth, of course. And Fredo would continue playing NBA 2K15 up until the point where 2K16 would release, and this is where Fredo's life would completely change. Fredo would start growing rapidly when this game released, quickly become one of the biggest 2K YouTubers there was. He was doing different story times while playing 2K, as well as doing 2K challenges with his girlfriend Jasmine at the time. And while playing 2K and incorporating his girlfriend heavily into the channel, at the time, as many of you probably know, couples channels was also a very big thing on YouTube as well. You know, all of the channels where the boyfriend and girlfriend would just spam all sorts of fake pranks, channels like DNB Nation and Chris and Queen and things like that. But this would lead to YouTubers like PrettyBoyFredo joining in on that, and he would even do some pranks with his girlfriend as well. And on August 10th, 2016, Fredo's life would completely change forever, where he uploaded a prank video titled "Angry Girlfriend Throws PS4 in the Pool, Prank Gone Wrong." And this video ended up going super viral for PrettyBoyFredo. It became the second most viewed video on his channel, accumulating over 36 million views. Just 3 days later, on August 13th, he would end up hitting over 1 million subscribers. And I remember actually being in his stream where he hit 1 million subscribers. Like, this was a very big moment for not only Fredo, but the entire 2K community as a whole. But as Fredo kept seeing all of this success with these IRL videos and different forms of content he was doing outside of 2K, this would lead to him completely quitting 2K as a whole. But you see, there was kind of a reason for that as well. As many of you watching this video may know, the 2K community is one of the most toxic gaming communities that there is. I personally think it's way worse than like the Call of Duty community, but that's just my opinion. But around this time where Fredo completely left 2K, he was receiving a lot of hate on the internet because one of the main things Fredo was doing in his 2K videos was trash talking. Fredo's content used to be like very toxic because at one point in time, everybody in the 2K community was toxic. It was like a normal thing. If you played 2K, you were toxic. But around the time he decided to leave the 2K community, it was announced to the world that his girlfriend Jasmine was pregnant and the two were expecting a baby. So Fredo decided with him becoming a dad, he didn't want to keep on being like this toxic person or having such a negative image on the internet. He wanted to switch out of the toxic 2K environment into completely different things. And not only that, he was also getting some very nasty comments at the time, like extremely over the top toxic, even comments wishing the absolute worst for his family. So around December of 2017 would officially mark PrettyBoyFredo's permanent leave from the 2K community. He got to a point where he didn't even need to play 2K at all to become a successful YouTuber. He just continued doing his vlogs and pranks and everything like that. At the time, Fredo was growing rapidly and doing 1 million views on every single upload he was doing, and he began to build a bit of an ego because in all of his time of doing YouTube, he never really did any major collabs. The only people that were featured on Fredo's channel was either his girlfriend or people that he organically met on his video, like another YouTuber named Malik, who we'll get into a little bit later. But these were the only people that were really parts of his channel. The only other YouTuber that I can really think of off the top of my head that Fredo collabed with was a YouTuber named Flight Reacts. But for the most part, PrettyBoyFredo achieved all of this success solely on his own. But as time proceeded on, PrettyBoyFredo realized that maybe collabs with other big YouTubers wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. So this is where he would do a collab with another very big YouTuber at the time named DDG. And the type of collab that PrettyBoyFredo and DDG would do would be a simple basketball 1v1. These were very popular on YouTube at the time, but the thing was, during this time, losing a basketball 1v1 on YouTube was like literally the worst thing in the world. Like, this is something that people took extremely serious, even people who weren't even basketball YouTubers. And with that being said, this PrettyBoyFredo and DDG 1v1 would go downhill extremely fast. But the first game that the two would play would end up being extremely embarrassing for PrettyBoyFredo. He was fouling DDG a lot, as well as just making up a bunch of rules in his head that nobody abides by. And Fredo would end up losing this 1v1 12-3. And prior to this game, Fredo and DDG had agreed that the loser of the 1v1 had to do an extreme punishment, which was common on YouTube at the time. Like when Fredo and Flight had their 1v1 videos, the loser always had to end up burning a pair of their favorite shoes. So a punishment was never uncommon at this time for losing a 1v1. But because of how bad he played and how bad he lost, he did not want to do the punishment and insisted that they did a rematch on an indoor court. So even though DDG didn't really have to do this because he had already won, Fredo wasn't going to do the punishment unless he got his rematch. So DDG agreed to give Fredo his rematch on an indoor court. And this game would end up going terrible because Fredo would continue playing the same way. He was fouling hard, making up rules in his head, and it got to a point where the two would just eventually butt heads because of the way Fredo was playing. So the 1v1 would end abruptly with DDG leaving the gym, and this would lead to Fredo and DDG both putting out tweets on Twitter talking about the altercation that had just happened. And after that, the situation would begin to die down a little bit up until the end of 2019, where the two would end up putting out videos apologizing to each other. DDG would make a video first apologizing to Fredo along with other people he had some problems with throughout the year, and Fredo would follow up with making one of these types of videos himself where he would mention Jasmine, who he was having some relationship problems with, as well as DDG and even the 2K community.
I obviously was down bad. I was losing bad. Like I lost. I just lost, plain and simple lost. But all the putting the camera in my face and all the extra remarks, all of that shit I just felt like wasn't unnecessary, and it rubbed me the wrong way. So that just sparked like a rage in me. Like obviously we never finished the game and the rest was history. And honestly, right now, I want to apologize. I want to apologize on my behalf.
And after this, it seemed like the two ended up on good terms, but unfortunately, this wouldn't last long at all. Just a few months into 2020, the two would end up having some more problems where PrettyBoyFredo would do a smash or pass video. And in this video, he mentioned women like Ruby Rose, who was DDG's current girlfriend, and of course, Kennedy Simone, who most people knows as DDG's ex-girlfriend. But this would lead to DDG reacting to Fredo's video and even putting out a tweet. That's when everything would officially start going downhill for Fredo, because at the time he was doing something called Demon Lives, and during these Demon Lives, PrettyBoyFredo would just get on Instagram live late at night and just completely start talking crazy about various other content creators, arguing with just about everyone. And this will ultimately put him in a lot of drama. During the time, Fredo was pretty open about being in a bad headspace because at the time he had recently got exposed for cheating on Jasmine, so they had broke up at the time. And while they had their relationship issues going on, this even led to Fredo leaking Jasmine's phone number on Instagram Live. And even though that's a very serious family matter that I don't want to get too deep into, Fredo wouldn't stop there during these Demon Lives. He also brought up other creators, such as another content creator at the time who went by the name of Ashley Ortega. Apparently her and Fredo had some type of situationship going on, and he would end up exposing their business to everyone. And this would even lead to Ashley Ortega crying on the live.
You should have left me alone because I was finally at peace. Bro, anyways, I can see that you are fighting some demons right now, and I wish you nothing but the best, bro. I honestly wish you nothing but the best.
Actually, I'm not fighting shit.
And since all of this happened, Ashley would delete all of her content off of her YouTube channel with over 180,000 subscribers. She would end up pursuing a full-time career on OnlyFans. And of course, Fredo would keep going and arguing with different people, and eventually DDG's name would come up after making that tweet about Fredo saying that he was mental. And Fredo would go on to expose some DMs between him and DDG, where he allegedly told DDG to pull up. And this is what would lead to the long-lasting beef, because after this, DDG's brother Dub also hopped on live with Fredo and they got into a very heated argument, and it would just be a back and forth for a few days up until the point where PrettyBoyFredo would end up dropping a diss track on DDG. Now I might get some hate for this, but I think this is one of the best YouTube diss tracks of all time. I mean, not only was the video fire, but during this song he also dissed DDG's current girlfriend at the time, Ruby Rose, as well as his brother Dub, and for some reason Ashley Ortega even caught it straight.
Actually, I hold that bitch for the street, she only good for the talk. Oh my god, the fuck is a dub? I went to the store and spent that on my socks. Oh my god, nigga don't play, I'll come to LA and I'm spinning the block with. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
But Fredo wouldn't stop there during his song. He would even take it as far as to fly to DDG's hood in Pontiac, Michigan and shoot some parts of the video there. And this song would end up getting extremely disrespectful and even mentioning DDG's deceased brother.
Got smoke in the air and I can't wait, don't let it. And you knew the killer, how the fuck you ain't ride? You touch one of mine, I'ma spray for the guys. This DDG pack for all of my guys.
In this song, he would mention the lyrics, and you knew the killer, how the fuck you ain't ride? You touch one of mine, I'ma spray for the guys. And some of you may not know this, but DDG did have a brother who he lost due to gun violence. And DDG even said in one of his older songs that like it was a cold case on his brother, but they all know who did it.
Cold case on my big bro, who we all know did it. 10K will split it, guaranteed it won't miss it.
So that's what Fredo was like referring to with this lyric, and that's when this entire beef would just end up going entirely too far. And DDG and his family said that since he wanted to be that disrespectful, it got to a point where it was just no longer just a regular like YouTube beef. Like it was to the point where it had to become more serious, and they just had to see each other in person. So after this, another very short period of time would pass before PrettyBoyFredo ended up in another beef with another popular YouTuber named Agent 00. So during this time, like I said, PrettyBoyFredo was away from 2K and he was posting all different types of videos such as catching child predators or just doing his usual pranks that he's been doing. And Agent 00 would call him out on this content, saying that all of it was fake and scripted and everything like that. Fredo would end up hosting a very big meet and greet event in New York City. But there was a very big problem with this because during the time of this meet and greet, COVID-19 was at the highest it's ever been. It was extremely dangerous in America. It was during the whole lockdown era. Like literally, this is when the Rona was at the height, bro. Like the worst that it possibly was. And Fredo thought it was a good idea to throw this meet and greet, in which hundreds and hundreds of people ended up showing up to. And after receiving backlash for putting so many people at risk, PrettyBoyFredo will put out an apology video. And this is where Agent 00 comes into play, because up to this point, Agent had already made a few videos in the past exposing PrettyBoyFredo for doing fake scripted content, and at this point he would even call Fredo out for faking the entire apology video. And after the 3 videos Agent had made on Fredo, this is where Fredo will finally respond to Agent, and he even told Agent to pull up to New York.
Cause man, I had
yo,
to go to
let these niggas know. Let these niggas know I sent the message, my nigga. It's waiting right there, bro. If I don't get no response within 24 hours, you capped out. You capped out. You lamed out for 3 to 5 years. Glizzy in the chat. Spam it in the chat.
And while in this beef with Agent, this would even lead to Fredo going live on Instagram and officially announce to the world that he was returning back to the 2K community.
I don't have to deal with these 2K fucking nerds and lame. I left y'all corny niggas in like 2017, and y'all niggas is still on my dick. Yo, imagine leaving a community for like 3 years and these niggas still. So I had that big of an impact. Y'all still don't have a nigga to sit on y'all throne as the king. All right, I will come back. 2K21, I will come back. I will be the king again. And you niggas is going back to 9 and 5s again.
Now, I guess this was supposed to be like some type of stray towards Agent, but in the long run, Agent would be the one that ended up getting the last laugh. Because after this beef that Agent and Fredo had, Fredo's career started slowly going downhill more and more. And this will ultimately lead up to the point of 2022, where AMP would drop their 2022 Freshman Cypher freestyle. And during this freestyle, AMP members Kai and Phantom would take it upon themselves to diss PrettyBoyFredo for Agent.
Have you cried? Bring it to the doctor. Pretty boy, you shot. Get the gun, let me smoke it on Fredo. About Agent, we gon' give that boy a head.
So with them dissing Fredo, of course it was going to end up being a very bad scenario for Fredo's already dying career. So Fredo would end up responding not too much longer with his own diss track in response to AMP, and even though his diss track on AMP did over 1 million views, it still wouldn't really get him anywhere, because not only was he already receiving a lot of hate at the time, but it was also mentioned that he stole lyrics from various rappers during the makings of this diss track, so it just didn't hit at all. So his career would even end up going downhill even more. And this will lead into the final part of PrettyBoyFredo's career, which was the beginning of 2023. Now, I don't know what Fredo did to these people, but at the beginning of 2023, I could not open up YouTube without seeing a PrettyBoyFredo exposed video. I mean, there was former members of SSH making videos on Fredo, exposing him. There was editors that worked for PrettyBoyFredo exposing him. There was some of his contestants of challenges, and even Malik made a video exposing him. I mean, literally every single day I got on YouTube, a new person was exposing PrettyBoyFredo. And the things people were saying about him in all of these videos was like some pretty damaging things. And because of all of this drama and everything that was going on with Fredo at the time, he would end up just disappearing from YouTube for about an entire year. And he would return back to YouTube in February of 2024. And in this video, he would just talk about everything that was going on, all the things that people were saying about him. And he was also talking about some of the personal problems he was going through in his life, such as problems with his family and health problems and all types of things like that, which was also very like sad. So prayers out to Fredo for that. If he's still going through any of that, prayers out to him. But at the end of the day, by the time he made this video addressing all of the allegations that were made against him, it was kind of already too late. He was already exposed for everything. He had already been in all of the beefs with these popular YouTubers, and people just genuinely did not like him no more because, for one, they knew everything he did was fake, and for two, he just became very unlikable during that whole period of time where he was doing these demon lives and just talking bad about every content creator. So Fredo has said multiple times since then that like when he makes his return back to YouTube, he's going to do it the right way. He's not going to go down that path that he went down in 2020 where he was causing all of this drama. And he's just going to go back to doing what got him successful in the first place, which is being him and including his family and everything like that. So I mean, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what really goes down with PrettyBoyFredo. But honestly, I don't think he'll ever get back to the point that he was at back in the day. But that's just my personal opinion. You guys know that the only opinion that I really care about is y'all's opinion. So let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about this entire situation? Do you think that Fredo deserved to fall off? And do you think that Fredo will be able to make a return from all of this, or is it basically over for him? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join me on my journey to 5,000 subscribers. By the time you guys see this video, I'll probably already be at 5,000, hopefully. You guys have been going crazy and I love y'all for that. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, be sure to give me a thumbs down. You guys know any feedback is good feedback to me. And as always, I appreciate all of the love and support. And I'll catch you boys and girls in the next banger, man.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.